Hello everybody, I hope you are doing good. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the basics of networks in ATLAS.ti. Now what are networks? Basically networks are just a visualization of how pieces of information are coming together. In other words, networks can show us how quotations, codes, memos and other data entities are connected to each other in our project. Therefore, you can view networks as representations of the understanding of the data and also as cognitive maps in your project. But data visualization is not the only purpose of creating networks. You can do data analysis using networks as well. And what I mean by data analysis is that you can simply code your quotations in your projects in networks. We will talk about this in the next video. Also note that we have two types of networks. We have named linkages where you can define the type of the relationship between data entities, and we have unnamed linkages. And networks are displayed with this icon in your project, and when you group them, they will be displayed with this icon. All right. Note that when codes are connected to each other, you are working at theoretical level. And what does it mean is that basically codes are considered as the main variables or constructs in your research. And when you link them with each other, it means that you are building your theory. And when you are connecting the quotations with each other, it means that you are working at a lower level, that is data level. So we have two levels of analysis, theoretical level and data level. All right, let me show you a few examples. This is a semantic linkage, and in this network you can see that we have 4 quotations that are connected to each other. You can also see the type of the relationships, and basically this network is telling us that these 2 quotations are explaining quotation 139, which means quotation 139 in document 2, and this quotation justifies this quotation. And because we are linking the quotations with each other in this network, it means that we are working at data level. This is another example of a semantic linkage. And in this example, you can see that a few codes are connected to each other, and you can also see the types of the relationships in this network. Now that we have connected codes with each other in this network, we can say that we are working at theoretical level. So this is the theory that has been developed in this study. All right, now that I showed you 2 examples of named linkages where you can define the type of the relationships, I would like to let you know that basically there are 2 lists of default relationship types for codes and also for quotations. And if you would like to view and modify these relationship types, you can simply click on relation manager. And for codes, just click on this button, and for the relationship types for quotations, click on this button. Also, you can click on this button or on this button to create new relations if needed. The next example is an unnamed linkage, and here in this example you can see that we have a code group here which has 5 members. So this code, this code, this code, this code, and this code, they are just members of this code group, and these red dotted lines are just representations of membership relations. This is another unnamed linkage, and here you can see the codes that are members of this code group, and also we have a memo that is connected to any of these codes. So note that in ATLAS.ti you can also link memos with codes. This is another example, and in this example you can see that we have three quotations, quotation 5.1, 5.2, and 5.4. We have two memos, memo X and memo Y, and we have one quote that is young. So what I want you to know is that when you see any linkages between codes and quotations, for example this linkage, this and this one, it means that these quotations, these three quotations, have been coded with young in this project. So the relationship between code and quotation means that the quotation has been coded with the code. Also note that we have two memos here that are linked with each other. Memo X is also connected to this code, to quotation 5.1, to quotation 5.2, and also to quotation 5.4. And memo Y is just connected to quotation 5.4 and quotation 5.2. So it was another example of an unnamed linkage. And this is the last example. And in this example, you can see that we have a few codes that are connected with each other. And we have also provided the quotations coded with one of these codes in this network. So it was an overview of the basics of networks in ATLAS.ti. In the next video, I will show you how you can create networks. Thank you very much.